This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
We move out to surround the area where the VC were spotted. I hope it is a mirage. It isn't. It's 9 a.m. We group and prepare to move into battle. As I'm lying on the ground, I put my keys down to look for something in my pocket. Artillery is now coming in heavy on the objective ahead. We move out, and I forget my keys. I wish there was some way I could have booby-trapped them. As Charlie Company moves out ahead of us, I hear shots. The firing is coming from an element of VC in a bunker inside a hooch. A platoon leader, a lieutenant named Vic, and some of his soldiers try to flush the VC out by throwing a grenade into the bunker. The VC roll it out. Another grenade is tossed in, and then out it comes, exploding as harmless as the first one, yards away from the hooch. One of the VC fires through the grass wall of the hooch. Vic is hit and falls to the ground. Another soldier is shot. Several VC dash from the bunker with AK-47s blazing. As Vic lies seriously wounded on the ground, he throws a hand grenade and kills 3 of the VC. The other soldiers kill the remaining VC, but Vic is badly wounded. The grenade tossed by this brave and likable guy has saved lives. The irony is that Vic was to leave tomorrow for R&R. Come to think of it, he will get R&R, but not rest and recuperation, more like resuscitation and recovery. We get Vic and the other wounded soldiers away as the artillery stops only long enough for the dust-off flight to come in and leave. We move through some undergrowth to within 100 meters of the tree line and stop for 45 minutes as artillery continues to blast away in the trees where the VC were spotted earlier. Then we move again. As the first platoon moves out, the VC open up from everywhere. Bullets are zigzagging in every direction. As I hug the ground, it's impossible to know from which direction the main fire is originating. All I know for certain is that I'm terrified. Someone yells that there must be at least 100 VC just on our side of the tree line. We realize that they must have patiently waited through the volley of artillery, not firing on us until the artillery lifted and we were within easy range of their weapons. Bravo Company is also catching it on the other side of the tree line. A chopper is shot down on their position. I'm hugging the ground and glance over to find myself beside David Hirschberger, the squad leader from the canal, again. He yells to me over the loud sounds of the battlefield, "Chaplain, you are everywhere!" The VC are hitting us from 3 sides. They're even in the trees. Artillery is coming in again onto the VC positions. We're very close to where the artillery is exploding, but the fire is too heavy for us to pull back. Fragments are raining onto us. A 3-inch piece of jagged steel suddenly plows into the mud 6 inches from my right leg. I pivot on my stomach and use a plastic sea ration spoon to dig out the fragment as a souvenir. The first platoon pulls back on their stomachs. They've been shot up pretty badly with several wounded. The fight rages all afternoon. An hour before dark, we're ordered to pull back. There is an open area between the platoons and another line of foliage to our right rear. We must run through that clearing to reach cover. I lope with the other soldiers through the mud into our new position, with the VC shooting at us continuously. We have several who are wounded and at least 2 KIAs. When we pull back, one of the KIAs is left in position. It's too risky to evacuate the body now. He'll be recovered tomorrow morning. We are now regrouped. I help Lieutenant Joe Van Sickle carry some of the wounded to an area where we believe a dust-off can land. The rains come just before dark. I talk to the wounded by crawling from one to the other. Finally, the Air Force bombers drop napalm and 500-pound bombs onto the tree line. Elsewhere, this would be scary because they're so close, but they're dropping their ordnance on the VC positions, and this seems to comfort us all. Then another soldier named Jason is shot. I've counseled with him several times in the past. He wants to be a professional singer and entertainer when he returns to the real world. 2 of his buddies drag him to join the rest of the wounded. Jason is shot in the throat, but he can still talk. "Will I sing again, Chaplain?" he asks. I tell him he will, but of course I don't know that. I tell him that at least we're still alive and that he'll be out of here on a dust-off in a little while. He's shivering from trauma.